Welcome to another live episode of Halftime Adjustments. It's your host, Eddie Arnell, my man G Witt, Mr. J.
How you
Lou.
know, baby?
I know, baby.
Tighten up week 1, 2025 season for the Tennessee Titans. Kind of want to see what they were going to do. Guys coming in, new offense-ish, new quarterback, offensive line, receivers, second-year defensive scheme. Denver 20, Titans 12. I don't even know where to start. I do know where to start. But anyway, let's go here. Let's go, J. Lou. First takeaways, man, from this game without going too far off the rail. I know at the beginning.
Then I'll just give you three so we
Okay.
can get into the show.
Yep.
So my first one, everything we've said about Cam is true. This is one of those games where I don't think you can stat watch him per se. Just you like if you look at the box score, it looks nasty. But if you really was watching the game, there were things there that makes you think, okay, we've got a quarterback.
Yeah.
I think that's a positive you could take away. I think the defense was a question mark coming in because we've always said that the starting 11 we thought would be decent, but you just don't know. You don't know about the depth there. And I thought overall they played well. Now I think as you got near the end of the game and you started seeing them on the field more with that altitude, when you start missing tackles and stuff, that's just tired football. And again, this is, as G Witt pointed out over the summer, nobody plays football anymore during preseason. So this is a lot of their first game. So I thought that was a bright spot. And then my last one I'd give is I feel good about Bones after week 1 in special teams. I texted y'all after the first Johnny Hekker punt and was like, okay, Johnny Hekker, he's ready. And you saw, and again, he's got some the altitude up there is going to help you with kicking. But you saw why they brought him in here over Stonehouse with several good directional kicks that he had. Yep. He didn't outkick the coverage too many times. And that you had some hiccups there with coverage, but nothing was back breaking, I don't think. And if I recall, I don't think we had as many penalties as we had. And I know we had one. You had Williams that had one ugly one on a punt or whatnot. But outside of that, I thought special teams played clean and had good returns. So those would be my 3 takeaways right now until we get into it.
All right, G Witt, you got it.
Okay. All right. So I'll kind of echo. I thought, just to be honest about it, I thought Cam, I like his demeanor. And I like the fact that I will put it like this, and it's going to sound strange, but in the NFL, I think it's good. Cam knows how to play football. He knows how to play. Now, he made some rookie mistakes, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, but he knows how to play the game. Number 2, definitely, I thought Elic Ayomino did a good job. I thought he got some, I'm going to say some bum calls. I'll just call it like it is. But other than that, and the O-line really, as bad as it got in the second half, I thought they were pretty solid in the first half, in all honesty. Defensively, I agree with you, J. Lou. I thought that overall, I would say this. Defense played great. I thought they played great. I thought that Brownlee was the victim of his reputation from last season with this crew. But overall, I would say the defense, I thought, played pretty well, lights out for the most part, until, as you said, the thin air finally got to them in the second half. But even then, they still recovered enough to make some good plays. And then, special teams. I texted both of you guys, and I said it. DK running back that 70-yard punt return. I was like, we haven't had a one like that since in 2 seasons, I know. And J. Lou corrected me. We haven't had. That's the first one that didn't get called back because of penalty.
Right.
But over and just to be real about it, in all honesty, it was disappointing. But overall, I think we saw overall the team improvement. Still got a lot to work on, but we wanted a competitive game, and we got one. I mean, let's be real about it. They were in the game until rid of the late in the second half. So overall, I'm not overly upset about the loss. I mean, considering that it was a 9.5-point dog, and
Mm-hmm.
most part we kept it within one score for the whole game. So I'm not overly disappointed in what happened today. I kind of expected.
Thank y'all for joining us, man. K. Lou in the building, Darius, Eddie Gray, Nathan, Will. Thank y'all, man. Mikey Jones, I see you too, man. Appreciate y'all joining us tonight. Ricky Smith, my pops is on here tonight, man. So let's get some more. So here's my overall, man. Here's my overall, my 3 takeaways. You know, we've talked about coaching. You know, the sign of good coaching is a disciplined football team where you had 131 yards of penalties. All right. Your defense give you 4 turnovers. You don't even score a touchdown.
Right.
So,
No.
yeah. So that's one. That's one.
5 turnovers.
Well, stat wise, it's 4, but yeah, if you stop on 4th down, it's 5.
Yeah.
Ridley, I mean, I don't even know what to say because he's the guy, right? He's supposed to be the guy. Now, and I'm gonna piggyback on that though for a second. Callahan has got to find a way to scheme his number 1 guy over. Never stacked him, never ran him in a bunch, never put him in motion. Those are things you do when you got a corner that's shadowing your number 1 guy. Mm-hmm. That's how you get him open, right? To be honest with you, the only reason why I really got open because they went zone.
Zone? Yep. Yes.
So, where's all the scheming we saw in the preseason? Okay. I digress. The officiating, now, I don't talk about officials because I got some good friends that are officials. Mm-hmm. But this was suspect, this officiating. Mm-hmm. The same calls they were making on Brownlee Jr., they didn't make against Ellick.
Nope.
2 times, right? And so, it's hard to overcome all that. It is. I mean, again, you guys said it, competitive football game, lots to build on. Cam Ward, to me, and my wife said this, she said the receivers are not used to somebody getting put the ball right on them. Obviously,
it's true. It's true.
They were surprised that the ball was getting to them, obviously, because, I mean, just drop after drop after drop. But anyway, so, a lot of things to talk about tonight, man. So let's start on the offensive side of the ball because, gee whiz, the conservative play calling to me. So, and I know y'all saw it. And if we're seeing it at home, it's so easy for the defense. Rerun our power where you pull the backside guard, you put Chig in motion, same formation. Every series.
Yep.
Now, eventually, somebody gonna figure it out that every time they send this motion with Chig, they gonna run the power to the opposite side. Gee whiz, come on, man. Help me with this one. Because Callahan, for somebody that only won 3 games last year, he don't want to come back to Nashville tonight.
Well, and I text you guys, but both Callahan's pretty much coaching himself out of a job with his play calling. And really, based on what happened today, he needs to turn the play calling over to Nick Holtz and just manage the game because his play calling really stinks. And it was most egregious when you get the ball backed up at the end of the first half, you got a 6-3 lead, and you throw the ball 3 straight times. I'm like, dude, you're not understand the situation of football. I mean, come on, you would have thought you learned from last year, but he's not understanding situational football. I know you want to try to get a big play and everything, but dude, understand the game. Make Denver use their timeouts, run the clock, and just run it out. I mean, go in at halftime with a lead instead of giving Denver momentum by allowing them to get a touchdown on you.
Right.
It just didn't make any sense.
Right.
That's one thing that really drove me crazy. And number 2, what happened to Gunner, man?
So Nathan brought that point up. Why? Gunner was balling. Got a bum shot on that one call out of bounds. I thought he caught the ball, really.
I thought he did too.
So, it is what it is at this point. But to your point, that's a great question because what happened to him? 2 balls early in the first quarter, you didn't even see him no more.
Nope.
Right?
He didn't get a target.
He didn't get another target.
Nope. And my last thing on this offense, I will say this because I said it when they made the cuts. you just can't trust Julius Chestnut to be running the ball. He just does not see the hole. And, you know, if you want him in there for pass protection, fine. I get that. But you can't be handing the ball off to him when you got 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 1 because he just does not see the hole.
I
He
will say
just
this.
doesn't.
Because I know what play you're talking about. I will say this. They had a bunch of more orange jerseys than white jerseys there. I think the play call was bad. Now,
I'm not.
I
don't
agree.
disagree.
I agree. He probably could have drove the pile a little bit more, but for what he did and what he got, it was just a bad play call at that point. The blocking wasn't good at all.
The blocking
Yeah.
wasn't good. No. But you know, as a running back, and especially when you're quote unquote somewhat of a power back, and you know you only run north and south, the best thing you can do is get low and push the pile.
Mhm.
And he runs straight up to be the height he is, and can't get any kind of leverage whatsoever. So, you know, I don't know. I guess Mullen's foot is still messed up. That's the reason why he wasn't in the game. He didn't get in the game. But
He went out after the opening kickoff with an ankle. Yeah, he went out with an ankle.
Elbow does equal 2 feet version. That's a great.
Well, according to the head coach, it don't, because in his press conference after the game, he said that's why he didn't challenge it, because an elbow doesn't equal 2 feet.
Okay,
that's what he said,
which makes no sense.
Makes no sense to me
We've
whatsoever.
seen it. We've seen it happen.
Yeah, all the time.
We've seen it happen.
So you know that. You know, it is what it is. But I will say this, and I will say offensively, this is a condemnation on Callahan, because there's no way you get 5 turnovers and you can't get 1 touchdown.
One of them.
And I'm sorry, I know Denver's defense is stellar.
Yeah.
I'm not taking anything away from them, but there's absolutely no way you get 5 turnovers and you don't get 1 touchdown.
Especially when you inside their 40.
Yep.
You got 1 inside the 20, you end up having to punt the ball. You know, you put your rookie play caller in harm's way, and I just didn't like that. That part of it I didn't like. That's why I said Callie basically is coaching himself out of a job.
J. Lou, talk to him, man, about this offense.
This offense, man. It's so one positive, because I told y'all I'm gonna track it all year long. We didn't start the game 3 and out.
No, we didn't.
They actually had a first down and moved on the game, so that's 1-0 that way. I'm disappointed. Well, you know, sometimes we say preseason is to knock the rust off, and you know, some things don't transfer over, yada yada. One thing we can say transfer over is the lack of scoring from the first team offense. I believe they had 1 touchdown drive, that 90-yarder. That 90-yard drive was the only touchdown drive I think I recall from the ones in preseason, and it's carried over. And I just Callahan, I think the disappointing part is he still doesn't have a feel for how to call the game. Like G-Wit, I'm not advocating, nobody gets fired in week 1, although I think Miami Dolphins coach is close, but nobody gets fired in week 1. But I think on the plane ride back tonight, that Brinker and Borgonzi, hey buddy, play call it a strip from you if you want to have a chance at keeping your job. Yep. Because I like, he's got let your offensive coordinator call plays. It's terrible. We go from being, he doesn't know when to be conservative, he doesn't know when to be aggressive. It's the opposites every time. Right. We've seen Titan football forever. I have no problem before halftime with you going for a pass on first down.
Right.
When you did it the next 2 downs, and think about this, it's not only the going for a pass, but I don't recall, what's the one thing you do to slow down pressure? I don't recall seeing screen passes.
No screen.
No screens. And that's what your offense is good at pulling. Go ahead, Ed.
They had one. And somebody didn't run the right route. They tried to set it up to the right side. Yeah,
yes,
I don't know if it was Ridley. Yeah, somebody.
And that was it looked like it was a little pop wide receiver screen.
Yeah.
But I mean, the way you slow up pressure, they like that first down play call easily could have been a running back screen when you were trying to see if you can get into a 2-minute offense before half. But then you decided to gifted them a touchdown based off the field. And again, the only saving thing that kept it close was you had special teams return, but he doesn't have a feel for the game. I think that from a running standpoint, I'm curious how much Mullins was going to assist, because they talk about they don't want to have Tony Pollard, wear him out. I think he had to play a lot more than he did, but it just. And I'll tell you another thing that disappointed me with play calling. If you go back and look at the drives when we got in rhythm, especially in the first quarter, we did a lot of hurry up. And the hurry up that I've been mentioning, I've always said, hurry up is you can just get to the line, call the plays, etc. Once we stopped that, we still had the same problem of not being able to get the play call in. And I think that this game, to me, to talk about our quarterback, you got somebody that knows the playbook. I don't think the offensive, his skill players actually know the plays like him. And the reason I say that, you saw him too many times moving people in motion or telling them where to go, where he's a rookie. And to me, he just has the playbook. But again, that falls on coaching. And as you said, to go 0-4, I think 0-2 in the red zone, and you can't score a touchdown when you got the ball like that on the road. The defense deserves to go in his office and body slam.
Right. Yeah. Let me get some of these comments in, man, because we got a bunch of them. So Integrate said, Callie out here calling plays like Wiz and Hunt. You see the pressure where they were down. Still got receivers. Got receivers running deep routes. Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
The game was lost, those 3 pass plays before the half. As Roddy says, let me say this, Callie be gone. The O-line still sucks and Cam needs some weapons. Offensive line played pretty well. I think Udo struggled when he came in. Mm-hmm. Hate that JC went out. Sweat went out and Brownlee went out there too. But anyway, with JC went out, they did the right thing. They came right at it.
Pressure.
And his pass pro was not very good. He gave him his side so quick. He was waiting instead. And I see, because we've seen the practice and we see Daddy Callahan teaching him how to punch first. He didn't have a punch
at all.
So the guy runs free. And so, things like that, man. You get in that, again, young football team not making any excuses, but you can tell that it's not translating over right now.
Right, yes.
And it's going to take some time. And we talked about this. We're going to have to go with the ups and the downs.
Yep.
Somebody said, and I'm going to get on the comment, that Denver didn't do what everybody thought they was going to do. They didn't.
They didn't.
Because the defense kept us in the game.
Yep.
But, yeah, it's the 133 total yards offense. 2 for 14 on third down. Some bad numbers. 62 yards passing, 71 yards rushing, 6 sacks. I mentioned the penalties, 13 for 131, 2 fumbles. Cam 12 for 28 for 112, Pollard 18 for 60, and Ridley 4 for 27. Now, I'm gonna tell you, and again, we got us one at quarterback. Somebody in there mentioned it. Those arm angle throws he was making. I mean, what else can you do? The balls he's throwing to Ridley in particular, how else can you throw the ball on those that he's dropping? I mean, even the one he threw on the seam route, hit him in the hands. Where else can you throw it? Where else can you throw the ball? The back shoulder to Ellick. Now, Ellick's got to turn around.
Yeah.
Right. Back shoulder was good. These are things, though, young guys got to learn, right? Mm-hmm. Professional players now, they got to learn. But, yeah, offense, let's hope Callie, man, looks himself in the mirror, because if not, I agree with you, J. Lou. They probably had a stern talking on the plane going back home tonight.
Yeah.
Nick Holtz need to take over the play call.
Yeah.
Yes.
And let him see the game from a different angle for a
little
bit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the situation. His play calling don't adapt to the situation, like you said.
Nah.
It's no way you line up in the shotgun formation when you're struggling blocking the edge rushers in your end zone. You just don't do that. You just don't do that.
With under 45 seconds left before half.
You run the ball twice, they got 2 timeouts.
Yes.
Run the ball. Get out of the court.
Your defense is balling.
The defense is balling.
Now, Mr. Baker had a hard game. Well, we're going to talk about the defense in a minute. But, yeah, it's so frustrating to see it, man. So, all the potential weapons that we got to get, we just, it's week 1. I get that. We just got a young team, and we got a young coach as far as experience as a head coach. So, defense, J. Lou. Talk to him about defense, man, because we talked about it in the offseason. We're going to talk about Big Jeff, because Big Jeff is a game wrecker. And he's also, again, making those bonehead penalties, But talk to me about the defense, man. What you saw today.
So, that's the thing about, I love me some Big Jeff. That's my guy.
Yeah.
But nobody's going to talk about how he dominated this game. All they're going to remember is
that one play,
ticky-tack 15-yarder at the end, and the false start that gave him a first down when they said I didn't think he crossed it in neutral zone. I thought he got back and they didn't move.
So let me say this real quick, man. I don't like that rule because the offensive lineman, all he does is push his moves his arm. He's not moving. That's his arm.
Yes.
No, make him move the whole body.
Yes. But he dominated. I thought they held up well against the run. We kept saying about Sebastian Joseph Day. I thought he played good. Femi, when the rookie really learns what he's supposed to do, he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be all right. And again, he's raw talent. But I mean, you saw him twice. He got beat one time with Nix doing the little fake handoff and rolling out. It happened no more. He was there every single time they tried to run that. And again, you saw him do the opposite of what they used to do with Harold Landry. He was not too bad when he dropped back in coverage, given him used to play a linebacker. Roger McCreary is Roger McCreary. He's going to, I mean, the guy with the shortest arms goes up and snags an INT that I thought was just great. Again, tackling should be a fundamental, but I thought the announcers, it might have been Sanchez, brought it up real good that you see tackling being sloppy the first few games around the league because it's just two-hand touch the entire training camp. Terrible. Even when you put on pads.
The commentators were terrible. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, they were terrible.
The was terrible.
Yeah,
Mark Sanchez is terrible.
Yes, I didn't even know it was him until halftime. Didn't pay attention and put two and two together. I thought Denard called a good game. I really thought he brought pressure when he needed to bring pressure. I thought he did a good job disguising the heat. Bo Nix looked like the Auburn Bo Nix. Yes. They had him rattled out there. And again, he's going against Sean Payton, so I think he held his own from a defensive standpoint. The one thing I'll say, and this is where it gets tricky, of course, we all knew going into the game that Snead was going to be on a pitch count. Was his pitch count 15? Because to me, you treated it like a preseason because he never came back on the field after halftime. And he was doing good. Yes.
He was locking something up.
He was. And then when they went out, when they knew start going to Baker and he was getting lit up. I would have wished, and again, I guess by depth chart, Baker's first, but I would have liked to see Harris get a little bit more play. And then Brownlee Jr., man, it's
feast of famine.
My fear is now we're going to see him be terrible the next two games because I think that the 4 or 5 penalties he had today is going to turn his aggressiveness down. And again, I agree, a couple of them were ticky-tack, but I think that's going to turn his aggressiveness down and cause him, he's going to be in his head the next week or two. I just feel that. But I thought overall that the defense, this is one of those games when they're going to sit up and you gave up 20 points and you lost with 4. You won the turnover battle. Now, again, I think it was +2. It was +2 because of the fumble at the end, but really +3 the majority of the game. You made big stops when you needed them, and you still on the plane ride back home with a loss. And again, I don't know how you did that. I will say the 3 safety look. I can't wait to see it with Winston when Kevin gets in there. I can't wait to see it with them. But I thought defense, outside of a couple of ticky-tack penalties, I thought they held up and did their own. And Sweat, and I have to see what the injury was on him, but altitude didn't look like it bothered him. And you saw what he could do on that fourth down. And on a fourth and 3 inches, they lost 7 inches.
They lost 7 inches.
Go ahead, G-Wit.
No, I agree with everything you said, but I will give kudos to one guy who was good as advertised, and that's Cody Barton.
Oh yeah,
he ran that defense extremely well. I thought,
yes,
being the quarterback of the defense, making plays. Like I said, when you really look at it, it wasn't until, like you said, J. Lou, when we texted back and forth, it wasn't until they got gassed in the fourth quarter where you start seeing a lot of missed tackles and everything. Overall, I thought the tackling was okay except for Monty Hooker. I'm really disappointed in him because that play where they got where they said they got the first down or whatever. Dude, he hadn't wrapped up the whole game. Every time he came in, all he did was hit him with the shoulder. And that was from the first early in the game all the way to the end. That's all he ever did. I'm not as hard on Brownlee Jr., and I don't think today's game is gonna get him inside of his head, because I think when they go back and look at the tape, they're gonna look at, dude, it was just that crew, because the calls they made on you, they gave to Denver.
Yeah. And that's why I think that's why I think it's gonna be in his head, because of what you just said. I think he's going to have to overcome the reputation, because how many other officiating crews are now going to have it out?
It'll be a topic in the pregame. I'm telling you, that's how it goes. I'm telling you.
So, like you said, Roger McCreary, I thought was good. I love the 3 safety look. I thought that was a nice wrinkle. I love the blitzing. I thought Denard did a good job on the defensive play calls and everything. Like I said, I really have no complaints about the defense, really, at all, except for the penalties. Femi surprised me. He really surprised me. You know, what we didn't get a chance to see in the preseason, we saw today, because he really played the run well. He really set the edge on his side well.
Very well.
Read the RPOs well.
Yes.
You know, played the run first, and then when he saw dude roll out, he went straight for him. I would say that if I had a disappointment on the edge rushes, it was Arden Key. What we saw in the preseason, we definitely didn't see today out of him, I don't think. And yeah, Jeff made the stupid penalty at the end, but doggone it, he balled out for, I'm going to say, 59 minutes. He balled out. And they struggled against him. You know, he got a couple of one-on-one plays, and you saw what happened. Rex Shop caused a forced fumble on Bo Nix. It's just, I have very little disappointment in the defense. I was disappointed more in the offense than I was the defense overall.
Yeah, and I agree with both of you. And here's some of the things I picked up on. Of course, we talked about setting the edge. I thought Femi did a good job setting the edge. I thought Arden Key did set the edge well. His pass rush wasn't good today. He did get sucked in one time, gave Bo Nix about a 4-yard run. But ran him down, so he showed some good speed there. Brownlee Jr., I mean, you either – so here's the thing. Either you let him play or you call it. But you just can't call it one way and then let the other team do it. That's the problem, right? Because we saw the same thing happening for the orange jerseys against the white jerseys. So we got to have it both ways. Either you let them play that way or you don't. Just don't call it the way they would call. I didn't like that. That was really frustrating to see that, man, because it was like we make a play and then we get a bad call. We make a play and we get a bad call. I hope it's not his hip. Nathan said Latham was a hip injury.
It was a hip injury. And I know the hip was the part that was bothering him the last week or so of training camp as well. So.
Yeah, so we'll see about next week. That's going to be
play Sunday then.
Yeah, that's going to be difficult to overcome there. Hooker. So for somebody that suffered concussions the way he did,
man,
over his career been here, you would think he'd wrap up more instead of going for the big hit. Yeah. Now he didn't have his helmet in the way, but still, when you go for the big hit like that, you risk getting your head in the collision.
Yes. You risk your shoulder and everything. The way he was playing.
Sweat, you already talked about him. Now, I would say this about Big Jeff. For the 300-pound guy, he lost weight. He's in great shape. He did ball. I'm going to tell you what, though. I'm going to say it again. And I don't talk about officiating this way, but they got to call it both ways. They were holding him. They would grab his face mask. Even the strip sack he had when he knocked the ball out of Bo Nix's head, he was held.
Well, not only was he held, the only reason Sebastian J got it is because the guy pulled him down to the ground.
So, it is what it is. That's not why they lost the game, but it was contributing to all of the snowball effect, right? Mm-hmm. You got your defense out there in the mile-high altitude, staying on the field a long time. The time possession actually wasn't that bad. Denver had a plus 3. And so, but again, there are some things that we could, of course, you're going to see them get gashed at the end of the game because they was out there so long, the altitude, like you guys said. I'm not disappointed in the defense. I think we're going to be good. I thought Denard called a great game. The 3, like you guys mentioned, the 3 safety look was great. Cody Barton, Cedric Gray
Yeah.
ran down
He
Harvey.
hawked it. Yes,
He showed some speed. Somebody mentioned that in the chat, man. Appreciate that. And I mean, you know, they can't play they can play better, but again, we'll see. And hopefully they will. There's some things they can work on. Let's see, Nathan said, pro athlete not following the fundamentals and tackling. Yeah, I was saying that to my wife. I said, these guys are professionals, and these are things that you work on. But again, think about it. Like y'all said, they don't play at preseason, right? So everybody's sloppy. They don't tackle in practice.
Nope.
And so you see the results. And so that's why it takes like 3 or 4 games before you actually see tackling that's even of good quality in some cases. I'm not going to say in all cases. Some teams are better enough. Special teams, J. Lou. I got to come to you first. This is your warehouse because Colt broke your heart so much last year, brother. So go ahead, take it away.
I mean, special teams scored all your points. He didn't miss a field goal. I thought the operation looked good. And again, Go ahead. I'm sorry. I was gonna say even with altitude, we know how his leg was. So I mean, I thought that entire operation looked good. Go ahead.
Now I was gonna say, I hope G Witt when he gets a chance talks about Sly, because he actually showed up for you, G Witt. He actually showed up for you. But go ahead, J. Lou.
He showed up. I thought, again, punt protection. That's one time they got in there, and I think we got away with a hold, but I mean, we probably needed the hold. But outside of that, I thought punt, your gunners, the whole 9, I thought return did a good job. And with the new rules, but that 5-yard makes a difference on kickoffs because you're not seeing as many touchbacks. DK, maybe they were just hiding him in preseason. Because I think that was the number one question when everybody saw Prochet get cut and whatnot and you was turning the return game over to DK. You didn't see a lot of it in preseason, and then in practice you can't really simulate special teams like that in practice. That's right. But I don't think he had a bad return, and he brought back memories of. I was glad to see him. You see, he's got the green light to try to make a play because the one punt that he finally caught within the 9-yard line and got to like the 20-25 until they called the personal foul penalty. We haven't seen that in a while. So I think for him, and again, when he's in college in Florida, a very good skilled return guy. So I think him getting his first game out of the way and seeing that speed, it can only go up from there. But I thought overall, it's a difference with good coaching. That is the one part of the team that you can. I mean, because you've got everybody for the most part is new on special teams, with the exception of Williams and Oliver that played some last year. And I thought that the thing that was a crutch for this team last year did not put the team in any bad position. I mean, think about it. Even when is the last time we seen he muffed that punt? We should have got it. Was 4 white jerseys around the muffed punt, and we haven't seen that in a long time. So I think special teams, they definitely get a passing grade. I won't be screaming at Bones come Sunday.
Go ahead, G.
You're right, because really they special teams. I guess outside of the defense was the highlight of the game. Overall for us, because I mean, you stop and look at it again. I thought the kicking game was good. Slide really surprised me, making all his kicks, making them clean. That's the thing I like. That it made them clean. Although I will say it did crack me up after the long return and he lines up the kickoff. That's when he decides to take a run to start. And and I think he was trying to kick a field goal at the same time, because I don't know where the ball went, but it didn't touch the ground at all.
He put it out of the stadium.
So and the other surprise too, really, was the punting. I thought Hekker did a great job punting. I mean, kicking out of the back of the end zone and you kick a 53-yarder. Now, granted, you're in Denver and the ball's going to travel. That still was a great punt.
Yes.
The only one I thought where he outkicked the coverage was the 65-yarder that he went really deep on. But other than that, man, I thought the punt coverage was good. I thought the kick coverage was good. Again, like you said, they hit DK the whole preseason. They never let it be seen what he could do, because he did not make a mistake on kickoffs or punts at all. At least I didn't think so. I mean, you could get ticky-tacky about him catching the ball inside the 10, but the cover was already down there. So making a fair catch right there, I had no problem with. like you said, he's got the green light because he caught the ball on the 9 and made it all the way to the 20 on that last punt. If it wasn't for the personal foul penalty, the team would have started off with good field position. So, special teams and defense are the least of my worries as far as this team is concerned.
So, they see Virgil says, J. Lou, were you going to say Mariani or
Pac-Man? I was going to say I got Pac-Man. That's what I was going to say. He brought back, remember, this is a Pac-Man catching that ball on the 7-8 yard
Dewey
line.
Cheatham and Howe, man, thank you for joining us. Yeah, so close today, man, so close. I was going to say that to G-Wit about that 53-yard punt. I think that was the best punt. Now, you say backed up, angled it to the sideline, had a dangerous returner. I mean, what else do you want? That's what we was wanting out of Stoney. Too bad Stoney couldn't develop that skill.
And hold on, not to cut you off. We forgot to add that Hekker has some moxie because when he made that tackle, he sure was jawing at Mills.
He was. And this goes to the makeup of the team. So we've talked about this team need to get more speed.
Yeah.
So you see that now, the punt coverage, the kickoff. You see speed on the field, and they've added a lot of speed to the special teams. Hekker, again, just a shade under 50 yards of punt. That's what you want. The 65-yarder.
Yeah.
DK 36-yard average on kickoff returns. Now the 71-yarder helps, but still, those are things, man, we hadn't had around here like you guys have said. Now, I will say this, G-Wit, J. Lou and I knew about DK. Why? Because we saw it in practice today.
Yes.
he was returning I was like, J. Lou, man, this cat is a legit 4-3.
Yeah.
And it shows when he was returning punts. So, yeah, we thought Prochet, but this guy here, he did it at Florida. And I mean, hey, shout out to him, man. Looking at the AFC South overall, the Colts went 33-8 over the Dolphins. They go to 1-0. The Jags go 26-10 over the Panthers, and then the Texans lose to the Rams, which we got coming up this week, fellas. So the Rams at home, first home game. They shut down the Texans, man. Texans only had 9 points. You talking about C.J. Stroud. You talking about Nico Collins. You talking about Nick Chubb. You talking about that offense. Not a bad offense. Keys to the game. J. Lou, what you think, man?
So Callahan's play calling on offense. Because, again, you finna face yet another stout defense. Again, the schedule makers did us no favors playing these defenses back-to-back. So you want to see how the injury bug turned out on the offensive line. We didn't mention it, but it's good to see our center. His name is Cushenberry. Good to see him come through clean, especially after the Achilles tear. So you want to hope that the offensive line is still intact. But I feel like we've got to, as crazy as this sounds, because it's just the DNA of the Titans, you've got to get back to running the ball. And it was working in the beginning. And then that's when Callahan, when he gets off script, he starts mixing and matching and don't know what he's doing. So I think we've got to establish the run on the Rams next week. And then take advantage of when you can, because they can be beat. Again, you're going to face a quarterback who's got some moxie about him when it comes to being a veteran, but he's the statue. So we really need to see, this is the game. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I know it is because he's on my fantasy team. Puka went out with a concussion.
He did.
He went out with a concussion. So you don't know how that's going to go throughout the week. 9 times out of 10, when you get a concussion, you rarely have seen them play the following week. Then they got a dangerous running back there in Kyron Williams. And again, you're going against, it's another good chess match for Denard Wilson because he's going up against another good offensive play caller. So what can you scheme up to do that? I would love to see Snead. And from listening to some of the post-game comments, he don't sound like a happy camper today from his pitch count. But you love to see him get a little bit more involved because, again, as you said, I thought he played well as your number one. So you want to have that, and then you've got to cut out 75% of the penalties. You cannot have another. Think about it. We had over 130 yards in penalties, and I don't remember I think the pass interference call was maybe 15 yards because it wasn't a deep one that they called on him. So you had all those penalty yards on not a deep pass interference call. So you've got to be a little bit more disciplined at home, and you've got to find a way to score. You're already 0 for 2, so you're 0% to start the year in the red zone. You talked about that, and we saw it again when we went to practice. If you've been paying attention to training camp, they had some opportunities with low red zone periods. It was wishy-washy the whole camp. So you've got to find a way to get the ball in the end zone, and then for the skill players, they're gonna have to come ready to play. I think all of them need to be on the jugs machine the entire week.
As soon as
they get off the plane, need to be on it because you've got to help your rookie quarterback out. So I mean, it's the Rams are beatable. Just like Denver. Denver was beatable, but the Rams are beatable. But you've got to stop doing the self-inflicted wounds.
Yep.
I will say this, and we didn't mention it earlier, but I will say, with the offense, the one thing I did like, the speed of the game didn't really bother Cam as much as I thought it would. He had there were some plays when they called good plays. He stood in the pocket, stood tall, and made the throws. The arm angles were phenomenal. I thought, a couple of them, like I think one that Ayamenor dropped, it came with a sidearm throw, and it him right on the numbers. So really, I think it's like you said, it's going to be a good chess match for Denard going against Sean McVay. I think that's going to be good. But I'm interested to see if the offense is actually going to improve, and if Callie's going to make the decision to turn the play calling over to Nick Holtz. That's really what I'm looking to see, because Callie, he simply does not have a feel for the game. Let's just be real about it. He really doesn't. I mean, the run was working, and you decide you want to go past the whole time. Then you try to get back in rhythm, and you never switched it up to get the team in rhythm. That's the other thing. You never went, you get the ball back. You never really went hurry up. You still stuck with running the ball with Tony Pollard on first down, and while he was getting stuffed. And I'm like, dude, you got to switch it up. No, really didn't call too many short pass plays. Like you said, no screens.
Mm-hmm.
And it really bothered me that you would get a good run out of Tony Pollard on first down. He get 8-9 yards, and you couldn't get a first down.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't understand it. Didn't call any design runs for Cam, which I thought he could have done, because Cam is smart. He showed today he's smart enough to know how to get down.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just one of them things where I'm looking forward to seeing if they make an improvement. But Cam, one thing I do know, the game, he can handle the speed of the game. I was impressed with that.
I will say this as far as him, and it's tough because of what they were, the situation they were in, and then I'll talk about the Rams real quick. Him rolling backwards, dropping back in the pocket. Yeah, he's got to clean that up. He's got to clean it up for next week. Now, for the Rams, again, and somebody said it, improve the run game. The run game needs to be cleaner.
Cleaned up, yeah.
We can't be running the ball the same play out of the same formation. Now, if you want to run that same type of action, just change the formation.
That's it.
Right? If you want to run the power play where you pull the backside guard and you got Chia kicking out the end, that's fine. Do it out of different formation. Don't do it out of the same
formation every time.
And I put down Snead, we need. Right. We need, because not only do you got Puka, but you got
Devontae
Adams.
Yeah.
Right. So you've got some guys that are legit alpha receivers.
Yep.
Right. Puka had 10 for 130 today against the Texans, and Texans supposed to have one of the best secondaries in the game. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to stop there. We got Kyrie Williams, Blake Corum, those guys running the field. It's going to be a tough game. And like you said, you got a savvy veteran in Matthew Stafford that's seen a lot of looks. Mm-hmm. They had 3 sacks today on C.J. Stroud. I mean, really kept him in check. 188 yards passing. Nick Chubb was held to 60 yards rushing. C.J. had 5 for 32. They even had Nico Collins had 3 for 25.
Yeah.
So, there are some things there that we can possibly, hopefully, take advantage of for the Rams. But it's going to be, again, about getting to Stafford. Can we get pressure on him? Make him move around. He's not as mobile as Bo Nix was today. And so we have a chance there. But again, the offensive line, Dan Moore Jr., he struggled today.
Ooh,
He had, 3-4 holding penalties
Mhm.
today. Led the league last year. I didn't even know that stat until they said it.
Me
Okay.
neither.
So you got Fisk, you got Verse, you got guys up front for the Rams that can really cause havoc. They're gonna watch that film. You got Brian Young. You're gonna watch that film, and they're gonna see, especially if JC don't play, that our tackles are gonna be suspect.
Yes,
And Tony Pollard can only do so much chipping,
man.
right? So somebody asked in the chat, what happened to Tyler Lockett? Didn't have a target today. I don't even know if he got on the field.
I was about to say I don't remember seeing him on the field.
no, he had something. No, he
He
did
had
have
a
a target.
he had a drop.
He had a
Yeah.
drop. Okay.
Yeah, he had a drop.
Okay. Well, I must have missed that because that's how he showed up today.
Yeah, he had
was
that.
not,
He had
was
one
the
drop.
beginning of the game.
he was not
Yeah.
relevant. He was not relevant. Again, so just watch the game. Did you see Jefferson got in there for maybe a couple plays?
Yeah, he had 0 targets.
Yeah, 0 targets. And so just you'll see the game. Cam has got, it's a reason why they were getting there early in the morning. They've developed the chemistry, him and the young guys, and he's looking for them, right? But so offensive line, run game, we need to play Snead. Denard needs to keep bringing the heat. Hopefully Sweat is not out for a long period. Hopefully he plays next week. He might not. We'll see. I don't know if we make a lot of changes on the defensive side of the ball as far as scheme-wise, to me.
I'm just hoping Brownlee Jr. plays.
Yeah, me too. I don't know. I thought he had got kicked in the groin.
I did too. That's what I thought.
But it never showed. So
The replay didn't show that. I don't know if it was. I'm hoping it wasn't a growing pull.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Virgil, that's a good point. He said Callahan is worse the closer he is to the end zone.
He really
He's
is.
not lying.
That's a great
He
point,
really
man.
is.
That's a great quote. Rodney says, does it seem like every coach we have is doing the same thing? Yeah, it's getting to seem that
It's
way.
getting
Something
to-
about that building. Yeah, Gunningham did struggle in blocking today. He got beat to the inside one time. I think he overset. But hey, man,
He's a rookie.
rookie team. We're gonna and Dewey Cheatham and House says Spears was missed today. I'm gonna say he was missed today, big time.
1,000% agree with that.
Especially when Khalil couldn't come back in the game.
Yeah.
And you had with Snead not Snead, but Chestnut as the backup. Excuse me.
Mhm.
But yeah, man. So Titans Broncos 20, Titans 12, week 1. Go back home with a 0-1 record. Not an AFC South game, but you know how them tiebreaker games go as it goes down the line. But we'll see, man. We got a chance to get back on track this week with the Rams coming here, first home game. So if you're out there, man, come out, support your home team. But man, we thank y'all for joining us tonight, support of the show, the comments, the questions, everything y'all got in. Check us out next week, man. We'll be talking again about the Rams game, 7 p.m. Sunday. You know what time we come on, man. Check us out. We'll be here. Halftime adjustments. Let me get over here to this other page. J. Lou, G. Witt, Eddie Arnell. We out here, man. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.